So I'm here with front of house staffing and I'm going to show you how to put up a 4-foot trestle table and box it. Start, lift up your trestle table, you see the legs underneath. I'm going to pull the legs out and make sure that they lock into place. Do that on both sides. Really make sure that the legs are locked into place here, otherwise the table can collapse underneath you. Pick the table up. If you can't do it by yourself, get someone to help you. And here you have your 4-foot trestle table upright. So with the trestle table up, you want to cover it with your cloth. You want to make sure that it's nice and even all the way around. In order to box the table, you need the cloth to be about 3/4 of the way down on each side, at least. Otherwise the cloth is too small. If it is too small, you can always use 2 cloths. But for now, our cloth fits nice and well. We've got it just near the bottom of the floor, and it does come down about 3/4 on each side. What I want you to do is to start by putting your thumb on the front edge of the table. This is which is going to be in view of the customers. You're going to put your thumb on the front edge and take a nice straight line to the back of the cloth and grab that with your other hand. You're going to take it up and over and create a nice straight line along the front of the table, again, with your back hand on this side. What you want to do is flatten the rest of the material out, make it nice and neat, and make sure that now you have almost 2 straight lines going up and down here. So with the cloth nice and neat underneath, keeping your thumb back in place where it was, take your back hand with the newly gathered pieces of material and bring them back across, and that should sit nice and flat along the edge of the table. So as you can see now, we've created a box at this corner. You want to just make sure that it's nice and neat, really get that corner looking good, because that's what's going to be inside of the customer. So again, with the front side of the table, I want you to put your thumb down on the front and gather the material in a nice straight line at the back. So you can see the line is running in 90 degrees all the way to the back. You're going to bring your back hand up and over again along to the front of the table, so you have a nice straight line along the front. The material here needs to be flattened out and made nice and neat. So these 2 pieces here, you can see the lines running down here, need to be flat and parallel, and preferably on top of each other. So now that you've got it nice and flat, then bring your back hand again, comes back up and over to where it started. You should have a nice straight line along the edge of that table. So as you can see now, we've now created a box. You just want to neaten that up as much as possible so that it's inside of the guests. So if your cloth does start to slip at all, make sure you grab some masking tape from the porter's box. There's always going to be masking tape on site for this reason. And just take some of the masking tape and underneath the table make sure that the cloth is securely fastened to the table, and that will stop it from slipping. But make sure you keep the masking tape out of sight of the guests. Now that has been your tutorial for boxing a table from front of house staffing. Thank you. So I'm now going to talk about juging or pleating. So here we have a posa table. These are used in receptions. They're generally used for the guests to hold their drinks. We can also display some food like cheese straws or nibbles of some kind on these. They're all different heights and it doesn't have to necessarily look like this. But generally we will put a tablecloth on the top, as I am about to demonstrate. So with your tablecloth unfolded and placed on the table, we now try and line up the centre so that the middle pleat goes right down the middle of the table. We then have to make sure that each side is evenly spaced around the floor. So as you can see, there's far too much material at the back of the table. So we'll push this forward so that the whole way around the table is just touching the floor. I'm now going to demonstrate how to juge the table. So here we have the bottom of the posa table, As you can see, the cloth doesn't look very nice. So Maria is now going to demonstrate how to make it look pretty and acceptable for the guests. She's going to try and form her own pleats from the top of the table all the way down to the bottom. She then tucks the cloth underneath. You've got to imagine hemming a trouser. You're using your fingers to fold the material into the shape that you want it and almost form a crease at the bottom so that it maintains its shape. You pick up the material and then just fold round with your thumb and fingers to try and create the shape that you want. It needs to be as close to the ground as possible so it looks very, very neat and you can't see any of the structure from underneath the table. Maria will continue all the way around the table until everything looks perfect. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So thank you for watching the video on clothing techniques. These techniques are integral to events, so please practice them. Please make sure you know what you're doing and don't shy away from them in events. You can only learn by doing. Have a hands-on attitude and really get involved. Find a friend and do this together. You can only learn by doing. So thank you very much for watching.